Yeah.
But I think
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's good. So we'll start that.
Not in a way, you know?
You can have the CD. You're already seeing the
Welcome to the Fredonia Central School Board of Education meeting for Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. We start every meeting with a pledge of the flag, so please stand up and take pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so we have a proposed agenda for tonight's meeting with a consent agenda, including personnel, excluding B12, and new business. Is there anything anybody on the board would like to pull out? Good there. Could I have a motion? So moved. Ms. Gull, thank you. A second?
Second.
Ms. Ford, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right. Leads us into public comment. The board has reserved this time to hear comments from the audience. Those wishing to address the board are asked to stand, give their name and address, and limit their comments to 5 minutes or less per individual group. Concerns and comments during the session, and this is important, directly related to the item listed on the proposed agenda. If it's not on the agenda, then we have a second public commentary later for this meeting. So is there anybody that would like to address the board tonight on tonight's agenda? Next, we have the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting from August 20th. Could I have a motion to approve these minutes? Son, thank you. A second? I'm sorry.
It's tough to tell.
That's what 32 hours of plane travel does. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The only item on tonight's financial report is to approve a working agreement, looks like, between Fredonia Central School and the Resource Center for Job Coaching for the 2024-25 school year. Can I have a motion to bring this to the table? So, let's go on. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Simmons.
Yeah, this is pretty much an annual resolution. As you know, part of our responsibility is to prepare students for next steps, and oftentimes we have students going right into the workforce, and we need to engage individuals who are in the field and really can help our students gain a perspective on what that might look like and what the skills that they're going to need as they move forward. For this particular resolution, this connects to some of our special ed programs.
Any questions on the job coaching? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Going right through the personnel. The only item on personnel is B12.
Yes.
The approval being the appointment of James Hobbs to a probationary school counselor position in the school counseling and guidance tenure area. Could I have a motion to bring that to the table?
So moved.
Ms. Porter, a second.
Second.
Ms. Scott, thank you. Dr. Zillings.
As some of you might know, James Hobbs continues the trend of Fredonia graduates returning to the district to work for us. James is a diligent, conscientious, hardworking young man that we are happy to have on board. He received his counseling certification through St. Bonaventure, and he also did some work at SUNY Empire in human development. James has many connections in the community through a variety of things. The Fredonia Pond Recreation Department as a park counselor, also as a swim teacher. He's also been involved here in our district as a lifeguard, a teacher aide, a pool director, and also a school health coordinator. During his internship and school counseling experience, as he was being certified, he did that here with us in grades 5 through 12, and also at Dunkirk in pre-K to 4. With the unfortunate exit of Mr. Romans from the district, this created a vacancy, and we're very happy to have James. Mr. Pashkin is the high school principal. Anything else you want to say about James?
All of those things that you said are true. I'm really excited to have James aboard. For those board members who may have worked with him in his health coordinator position, you know the diligence, dedication, and hard work and meticulousness that he has in everything that he creates. I'm looking forward to him in that role, both because he already has a pretty firm understanding of our students and their needs because of all of the work that he's done here, but also because of that hard work, meticulousness that's needed with the scheduling and all the dynamics in that department. So a great hire, so I'm thankful to everyone, and hopefully we vote yes, and we can get him started as soon as possible.
James wanted to be here tonight. Typical James, he had volunteered to help with the cross-country meet tonight, and is involved in that. But one of the things Mr. Johnson and I talked about, we will invite all new staff to a board meeting, probably the first meeting in October, and just have a chance to put names with faces or revisit names with faces, and maybe have them just share a couple sentences about your first month in the district. So hopefully James can attend.
Any questions or comments? I've heard from others, how dedicated he is to the district, really hard worker. So it's great to have him. He knows all the students, which is fantastic. So that's great. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations to Mr. Hobbs. Well, that moves us into our second round of public comment. So it's pretty much the same as the first round, with the exception of any topic. So is there anybody in the audience that'd like to speak? Okay, thank you. Moves us in the superintendent's report.
Yeah, a couple things. The board knows, and I think a lot of people know, but if you're unfamiliar, the board has 3 committees that work throughout the school year in 3 different areas. One is audit, one is facilities, and the other is policy. We try to meet at least 3 times a year during that time. For example, facilities has done a lot of work on the capital project, thinking about what that looks like, and the work that we've done to move forward in those areas. Audit has a chance to review both our external and internal audits, process that information, prepares for our audit board presentation, which usually is in the beginning of November, and just really keeps an eye on the overall fiscal responsibility of the district. And our policy looks at those board policies. We do work with the service through the REBOCES 1 that provides some information to us about policies that are changing, whether based on case law or different scenarios that have played out all over the state. It gives us recommendation, and that's why you will see policies being approved throughout the year to make sure we're staying updated and current. I just wanted to share this with the board. I don't think we need to get into checking calendars tonight, but because our auditor right now is currently involved in grand jury work, the Tuesday before the board meetings will not exactly play out. So we're looking to pull together a meeting fairly quickly that we usually do in late August or early September. We're also looking to have a meeting in October and prep for that board presentation in early November. And then we usually have a meeting in February, March. That can be a little TBD, at least for the moment. For facilities, we were thinking of trying to meet before each board meeting. We could do that at 4:35, maybe depending on what's happening. A suggestion would be October 8, 10, or sorry, October 8th, December 10th, and February 4th, and then policy November 5, January 7th, March 7th. So if you could check your calendars through the weekly communication with our board, I will ask to confirm if those members can work with these dates or if we need to make some adjustments. And then we usually have those on our website. And those meetings are open to the public, but do not necessarily mean that there's public participation. So that's why any questions, comments? Other than that, I just wanted to share sort of a summary of some of the things that are in play currently, and I thought I would share a little bit of our opening presentation that Dr. Wright and I shared with the staff on opening day, minus a few things that were a little more entertainment value. One of the things that we do each year is thank everybody for all their hard work and dedication leading up to those opening days. And I'm not going to take the time, although we did on the opening day, to go through each and every bullet here and really express our gratitude for all the hard work. Many in the community don't know that Christ Community Church donates breakfast on that opening day, which is real nice, just community involvement and bond, so we appreciate their help. We also, and I'm not going to go through them tonight, but we also, just so you get a sense, we also go through new faculty and staff. We have several at the district level. Not a whole lot that we lock this year, which is nice for consistency purposes. You'll see elementary, quite a few, and also middle school and high school. And again, we'll invite these individuals to come and say hello to the board in early October. We always touch on, and I'm not getting into great detail here tonight, but we always touch on mission, vision, core beliefs as we begin the school year. Try to keep that conversation present and part of the dialogue throughout any given school year. But yep, we go back to this idea of everybody, students and adults, becoming their greatest selves. We remind people that we've defined some of these words within that statement just to bring clarity and make sure everyone is understanding exactly what we're referring to or talking about. Same thing with our vision, and again, we talk about being dynamic, global, and innovative in what we're doing as a district, and we take some time to define those terms as well. In terms of our core beliefs, we remind everybody of the ones that we've settled on as a district and the fact that they drive decision-making and behavior in the district. We also touched on long-term planning a little bit, and we reminded people of the individuals who volunteered their time to be part of the district planning team, and we are absolutely appreciative of everybody who is on board. Some here in the room tonight, thank you, thank you. We reminded everybody that, again, this wasn't so much about 15, 16, 17 people coming together and making decisions for the district, but reaching out to the community and saying, hey, what do you see as our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats? And what does that look like then as we begin to plan and think about what are the things we want to accomplish over the next 1, 2, or 3 years? And it brought us to this conceptual model that we've shared before, and really those areas where we're focusing are around literacy, are around curriculum, intervention, thinking about the 7 habits of leader and me, what that looks like in our district, and also the capital project that we've talked about numerous times. In this first year, we are going to spend some time, if we're going to be in the covey mode of seeking to understand, and we're really going to ask, especially early on in the year, what is the current state in a given area? What's the current state in literacy? What's the current state in curriculum or curriculum review? What is the current state of our interventions? What is the current state of our implementation around the 7 habits? We're going to be asking questions like, what is in place now? What is the relevant history? Who, when, where, why, how? Not so much from a critical lens, but hopefully to celebrate the good work that has been done and show respect for the work that's been done in the past. Is what is in place now actually being done and done with fidelity? If not, what is actually happening? What are the best practices in this area? What does research suggest? Who has expertise within the district in this field? Who has expertise beyond the district? And what districts could we look at as models to possibly follow in these areas? So that will be a good portion of the work to get us going and really engaging in a meaningful conversation about all 5 of these topics. We also talked a little bit about our proposed capital project. We reminded people of the same mentality as the long-term planning. We tried to seek information from our community. We have 2 separate surveys. One of them that garnered about 600 responses. We didn't forget about comments that have been made here at Board of Education meetings recently and as far back as 2 years ago. And we appreciated people calling, emailing, participating in the forums we had there, and also engaging in in-person discussions. At the moment, although we are still in the process of making sure that there are no environmental concerns with our propositions, we are proposing 3 propositions. 1, warm, safe, dry, which is really all kinds of maintenance items. Proposition 2, around enlarging musical spaces. And Proposition 3, about investing in athletics. Again, there is a cost involved with these propositions. Proposition 1, again, warm, safe, and dry, includes about a 1.9% tax impact. Proposition 2, the enlargement of the musical rooms, about 1.1, and investment in athletics, or our multi-use field, about 6.9. So all of them together will be almost about 10%. And again, Proposition 1 is contingent on, or sorry, I should say, each proposition is contingent on the one prior passing. So for an average tax impact, this is how it breaks down based on our analysis and our work with Municipal Solutions, who does this kind of work across the state. For Proposition 1, roughly $63, Proposition 2, $37, and Proposition 3, $220. So an average tax impact in dollars of 1, 2, and 3 would be a little over $300 and $319 specifically. The next step is again to complete the environmental work, which is usually called SECR or SECRA, depending on who you talk to. We're going to have a board resolution in October to approve what will actually appear on the ballot. We're going to continue with public meetings and outreach and a lot of communication about the plan, and then we will have a vote in December, hoping to have an exact date in our next meeting. We also touched on this idea of the 7 habits and also Leader in Me. We reminded people of the 7 habits. Again, these ideas of being proactive, beginning with the end in mind, putting first things first, thinking win-win, also seeking first to understand, then be understood, synergize, sharpen the saw. And there is actually an 8th habit, which eventually we'll get to, which is find your voice and inspire others to find theirs. A couple different ways you could look at these habits. Some people have said, hey, 1, 2, 3 are really about character and this idea of it starts with you. And 4, 5, and 6 are about playing well with others and a little bit more in terms of personality. Another way of looking at it is habits 1, 2, and 3 are really about managing yourself. Habits 4, 5, and 6 are really about leading others. And habit 7, and eventually in this habit 8, is about unleashing potential. So again, the idea here is that we're going to start with the adults. Over this course of the year, make sure individuals here who are working with our students, whether in the classroom or some other capacity, understand the habits. We've experienced 3 days of training thus far, and we'll continue that throughout the school year in smaller chunks through faculty meetings and through other venues as the school year goes on. So this was part of what we shared on the opening day. I think it's a good summary of kind of those things in play in the district right now, and we definitely want to welcome everybody back and make sure that we wish them well and hopefully ready to enjoy the year ahead. Any questions from the board?
we have a time frame for the new student rep?
You know what? That's a good question. And I am a little behind, but I would hope that we would have somebody in place for that first meeting.
Great. And then my other question was, and I may have missed this, so I apologize, but can you talk a little about our new athletic director? I saw it pass through the slides. I don't know about.
Yeah, so as you know, this has been a topic of conversation here.
What is it? Trainer.
Yes, I knew what you meant. This has been a topic of conversation here. We've been trying to work with BOCES to bring somebody on board, and unfortunately, the sticking point in the past was it just wasn't people available or able to be hired. So they were able to bring on a new trainer this year, which for us actually shifted things to have a more experienced person come on board here. It's shared between Fredonia and Silver Creek. So as an example of last Friday night at the football game, the trainer happened to be there and was helping either side and spent, just for the record, half of the game on our sideline and half of the game on the Silver Creek sideline. So it's off to a good start. We have a room down in 108, which is sort of down in the old tech room that really is looking sharp with some exercise equipment, as well as some areas for therapy and other things. So we're excited, and I think it will be a really nice addition to the district, and especially for our student athletes.
Other time frames, so when the trainer was there, and all the teams.
Yep, so it shifts a little bit in terms of the daily schedule. This week he happens to be here 3 days here and 2 days at Silver Creek. That will reverse next week. And then athletic directors along with the trainer have sat down and have at least divided up contest for the fall season. Kind of taking a chunk at a time.
Any other questions? Okay. Our next board meeting will be held on Tuesday, September 24th in the high school library at 6 p.m. And any other comments from the board?
Just excited coming on campus, seeing all the activity, we're doing cross country, tennis match, lots of things going on. Feels good to see the campus active and back with students. So thanks to everyone for getting us up and running.
Yes. Great. We'll start with Mr. Pashley. We've got a few initiatives going on.
Yeah, we feel
Busy.
Yeah, a couple of
Reports.
I'm really pleased to report that the cell phone change has been far better than I could have ever hoped. I just want to share a couple of comments. Right before the school year started, I received an email from a colleague from a different district that said, I have no real idea of the cell phone journey and what it's been for you, but on the other hand, I kind of do know what it must be like and what it has been like. I feel compelled to write this morning. This is right before school started. I'm sure that this has taken a lot of your energy and effort, and that you've taken a lot of grief, and you'll probably continue to take a lot of grief as the week begins with students and the year unfolds. First, I want to thank you as a colleague and as a mom for having the courage to take action on a problem rather than just continuing to be a part of the griping and grumbling that many of us do. Again, I can only imagine the toll that it has and will take. I guess in part I wanted to send this email to let you know that I stand behind you for what it's worth. And I thought it was really nice, and but it kind of reinforced that feeling of other schools that have done this have really struggled, and the first few weeks have been very tough. It's been the opposite in our experience. We were doing easily 20 phones or more taken away every single day last year. So far, I think we've taken 6 in 5 days. The kids seem to be very happy. Just some comments from students. One student said to a teacher, I have to tell you something, but please don't tell the other teachers. I can focus so much better without my phone, and I feel way less stressed. This one is from one of our teachers. Just hopped in the office, said, hey, I am so much happier and comfortable in the halls, and I think the kids are too. Another student said, I actually love not having my phone during the day. I get so much more done. And the last one is this is from a parent. Thanks for having the courage to do what we haven't been able to do at home. Our kids are actually happier at school every day, and they do not want the adults to know that.
But thanks for sharing.
So it's honestly, like I've been in the lunchrooms quite frequently, where the kids were typically on their phones during lunch with their heads down, and you can hear a pin drop in the lunchroom. There's lively conversation, not bad conversation. They're actually talking. Several teachers have mentioned the kids are excited to do group work, where that had kind of tapered off in past years. They're excited to be engaged with each other. I mean, I can't thank the staff enough because they have all been very consistent, which going into this we said has to be the key. And one of the drawbacks that we've had, I think that the number of cell phones we've taken, even though it's small, it might be slightly inflated because we do have a couple of areas where kids are using their phones, like for example in the drone class. They need to use their phones to control their drones. And we haven't obtained the bags yet that we were going to get. And so the kids will be carrying their phone to that class, and the teacher will be like, "Oh, gotcha!" But that's not our goal, obviously. So once they explain, "Oh, we were just on our way to this class," it's been fine. But the kids have been keeping them in their lockers, and they've been happy with it. I mean, really, a couple of grumblings from a couple of kids, but most of the comments from the kids have been very positive. Which I'm like knocking on wood and doing all throwing the salt over the shoulder and all those things every day because it's been amazing for 5 days. And honestly, every school that I had contact with that had done this, they said the first few weeks were just horrible. So just a lot of kudos to our staff, a lot of kudos to the team that got together to work on the cell phones. And I think the rollout went well, the explanations to the kids, communications over the summer, it all came together really well. I couldn't ask for more. So, I mean, thank you for your support, and so far so good. But other than that, I know that took a long time, but I thought it was really worth it. The school year's off to a good start. Our traditional schedule is running well. We are experiencing some issues, not traditional schedule issues, but more just general scheduling issues. I think that part of it was with Stephen leaving. A lot of the last minute things were left to do without him, and we have a fantastic counselor in Amy Ward, but she's also new to our system and new to Power School, and she was in the middle school before, not in the high school, so it was a lot for her to juggle on her own at the end. But I think they're cleaning it up now and just fixing some of the mistakes and where some kids were scheduled. But obviously, I'm happy with the start of the year. I think that we have a real positive thing going and looking forward for a continued positive school year. It's exciting. Thank you.
Noisy cafeteria.
Yes, which is kind of weird. It has been it's like eerily quiet like the past few years, but it's nice.
Yeah, thank you. And if you can keep us continuously updated, because the first few weeks, the schedule, cell phone is
sure, we'll do.
Months.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Dollinger, what's going on down there?
A lot of excitement at the elementary level, as there always is the first week of school. We're the highest enrollment in my short tenure here. We had 436 kids enrolled in school, which is kind of exciting. We're welcoming new kids every day. But, I want to take the positivity from our faculty and staff. Sometimes a few tears in first grade, but really we greet the kids with a lot of warmth, and we do a great job of getting kids in the building. Thank the parents for their patience in the parking lot. There's a lot of traffic that goes through every day. Captain Meyer and myself are out there directing traffic. But it's been pretty smooth, and it gets better every day. That's what's nice about the elementary school. Thank you for your support with the intramurals tonight. We're having some new clubs that we're trying this year, and there's more intramurals this year than there's ever been. So there's more opportunities for the kids to participate in things that they enjoy doing. So there's more to come, but we're excited to start. It's off to a really positive start. So excited.
Great, thank you. Ms. Piper, sorry I missed the gym. Was it good?
A little warm, that's okay.
Was it?
It was great. It was great. More people than ever, and we could really see the difference in the kids and families coming in after the jamboree, the relationships that they had immediately built, the trust that was there, the comfort level the kids had. As Mark said, I couldn't think of any tears that we saw with the kids coming in, which is unheard of. We knew you really, really great. I just want to report out, we've been talking about safety features at VLOC for the last couple of years, and I really feel like this year we've come to a great culmination. Peggy Brisky, our secretary, is at the main door, we've got double locked doors, we've got cameras where they need to be. It just really feels like the things that we needed to have in place are set there at VLOC, and we're all feeling really good about that. So Mrs. Brisky's made a little spot for Mr. Kappelmeyer in her office, new space there, so he's been over there quite frequently. It's been great. I just hope he's feeling much better about that, parents especially. And along this same line is the VLOC Mini Bus Run. What a difference. Again, it's years. The kids know, they get on, they know their friends, they know they're going right home. John's been great, helping work out some kinks. This always happens. But really, the safety of the kids and their confidence and trust in the school and the parents, it's made a world of difference. It's really been huge. So thank you for supporting that. That really actually was really been making a difference this year.
I can speak firsthand to that. My granddaughter, an hour last year, 20 minutes this year. So
Yeah,
it's
huge
fantastic.
difference.
It's
Yeah,
come way down. It's great.
yeah, 50 years, it's great.
I know. That's right. You're on this side.
I know, I am. It's
Okay.
a whole new perspective. So, one of the things I want to shout out to is our E&L team that worked really hard this summer, and we were able to use some of our ARP funds that are specifically designated for summer programs, and some that are specifically designated for underserved populations. And one of the team came together and we talked about all the different things that we wanted to do and hopes for the district and what is doable and with the funding. And I said, you know best what you need for your team. How can we support you? And kudos to Mr. Forbes, because we're always kind of working in tandem. I do the narratives, he does the numbers, and it seems to work well. And so over the summer, Erin Lamb, one of our new ENL teachers, worked to create a digital resource library for students, families, and staff, as well as taking some of our hard copy paperwork to create a resource library. We had additional tutoring happening for some of our ENL students after the summer school hours were concluded. We continued for tutoring, and it was pre-learning. So getting high school students to be ready before the class they go to. So having the second language, introduction to the material, the vocabulary, the concepts. So being able to go into school with that. And then our Hispanic outreach coordinator worked alongside with Bonnie Burnett, our instructional leader, and created these Wednesday field trip experiences. And I know they got to meet with Ms. Hunt's spouse down at the Jamestown Comedy Center. So one of the goals with any student who comes to our district and doesn't know the language, doesn't know the area, this is their new home, but it's hard to feel like home when you don't know the area at all. And so one of the field trips was right into town walking, and again, kudos to Mr. Forbes and helping with the transportation with the first student, but they got to go see the library and the municipalities and the police and the fire, and to understand the area and acclimate, to know the vocabulary and the history. And they went to local areas all around Chautauqua County, and the whole theme was getting to know, your new home and wanting to honor the traditions that they come with, but also helping them to feel a part of the community that they live in now. And in talking to Mr. Ramirez and Ms. Burnett and debriefing after each of these trips, just the excitement and can siblings come? And parents began to say, could we come? So they can begin to understand and feel more comfortable. And in just these first few days of the school year, talking about how they are talking more to their to other students in the population, how they are feeling more connected, more engaged. And so that is just, when we think about back to school, we often don't think that, we see all the commercials, we see the flyers, we see the happy smiling faces, and we forget that we serve all students here, and that can include students that it's really hard to come to school and to not know the language, or to be the one who has to translate for their families because they're not sure or comfortable. And along that same line, a huge shout out to our student support services, particularly Kat Fire, our social worker, but the entire team, along with the administrators, who worked so hard for our McKinney-Vento students. Those are our students who are experiencing homelessness, and it often is not known until that first day. And here it is the first day of school, and there are phone calls or text messages saying, we were relocated, we're in this motel now, we want to stay in Fredonia. And trying to work within the law and trying to work within the best interest of the students, which is to shout out to everybody who is working so hard to make sure that all of our students have access to school, access to meals, access to programming, and access to continuity in education. So those are some of the things we often don't think about when we think about back to school.
It's great, yeah, I mean, yeah, we have a focus on attendance, and
Yeah.
these elements help them.
Yes.
So, thank you. Mr. Forbes?
Just a couple quick things. The school tax collection process is underway. I want to note that on the bills themselves with the county of Brandon, Buffalo, New York got cut off the address on the front of the bill, but it is on the back of the bill, so you get a few work through that. Otherwise, no major issues to start the collection. And also, the field work for the audit will be starting on Friday, so we'll get that going.
All right, thanks. Mr. Motion, anything? Not tonight?
Everybody's moving.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to add, you probably noticed Ms. Paul Hamus is not here tonight. She's at an event with her daughter. But she did want to relay a couple notes that the middle school is also off to a great start, and everyone seems to be transitioning nicely into their new routines. They spend a lot of time with Team 5 and really focusing on that transition of our youngest learners at the middle school, coming from 4th into 5th grade. That seems to be going well. Student support team is working and planning and prepping for Start with Hello Week, which is really about making connections and creating a welcoming environment and reaching out to other students and having some dialogue with some individuals that you might not normally. So we look forward to that coming up. Clubs will begin meeting at the end of the month, and the 7th and 8th grade athletic programs are in full swing, and we see a lot of jerseys and Fredonia Hillbilly apparel around the middle school. So they're excited. She wanted to thank everybody for really getting the year off to a good start, and she's excited about the year to come. So,
Okay, well, we don't have a need to enter an executive session tonight, so we can close the meeting. Thank you for everybody that has attended tonight's meeting. Can I have a motion to close tonight's meeting?
So
Second.
Second.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is now closed and
You're feeling,
keep it rolling, like I said. Yeah, yeah, no, it's been a few weeks.
Yeah.